Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Magnus Carter, and this is the Making More Money for You show. The last time we talked was back in June. I took a month off. I thought everything was all chaos from from the last show till now. And today's show is going to be no different. It's going to talk about a lot of things that led up to the events that happened. And you're probably asking, like, well, how is this relevant to investing and making money? Well, not only is the show about investing and making money, it's also about self-help to help make better choices so you can make more money and make better life decisions. So let's get started right now. Thank you for tuning in, you know, and thank you for all my listeners from new and old alike. It's taken a while to actually get back to this, and this topic we've covered about a year or so ago with No From Travel. I tried to get them back on the show. They didn't have enough time to get back or haven't reached out. So, it's okay. It's all right. I can do the show with uh with the last experience I've had. And this topic is all about the importance of a vacation. We as adults don't take vacations. It's plain and simple. Either it's time constraints, money constraints, the boss won't let me, which is illegal, by the way, because that is also part of your compensation. If you were hired, you're supposed to get time off if you earned it. Always an excuse. Uh, don't know where to go. Don't have anybody to go with. Body's worn down. Mind's frazzled enough that you can't actually take on that task. And I've actually had a trip basically fall in my lap and everything fell into place. As most of you know or don't know, I am actually a certified scuba diver. I have also became took the rank and certification of becoming a dive master, which is your first level professionally to help out with the certification process of newer divers. And since I've taken that this year in March or April. April, I believe I finished. I got certified. I've been working nonstop, weekends after weekends after weekends, of helping out instructors with a variety of diving courses. The main one I really do enjoy is open water. I also love, stress and rescue. These are also SSI classes as well because I am associated with Scuba Venture down in Reading, Pennsylvania. And they are an SSI affiliate and training partner. The fact that I've been working nonstop, relentlessly, started with, I love writing the books. I'm actually working on the next book right now. I'm finishing up putting on the finishing touches of it. I'm hoping to have it on in the Four State Comic Con in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in 2 weeks. That's the 24th and 25th of August. If you're in the area, please stop by. Check out LPS Publishing House LLC's stable. Um, but I've also been doing the 9 to 5 job still. I'm still doing the 9 to 5 job. I'm writing the books, helping with the publishing company as well. Also, on top of that, I started a new adventure of LPS IPTV, which is a online subscription business, trying to get that started. If you want more information about that, I'll put that link in the description, lpsiptv.tv. And, a lot of people out there having issues with cable companies, tired of spending all the money on multiple streaming events, streaming uh, platforms, and also cable bills. I decided to, because being a customer in so much, I started a company doing that and reselling the exact same services that I use. But to say the least is back on topic here. I was taking the dive shop actually offered a dive trip to Bon Air. It is supposedly one of the best travel destinations for scuba divers. I'm like, okay, not a problem. I started paying the money down, still kept working back and forth, nonstop. It's basically I've been working 7 days a week. Still getting up at 5:30 every day, working till 11, 12 o'clock at night, um, relentlessly doing whatever, doing books, doing my 9 to 5, doing IT work, still, and certifying classes, dive gear maintenance, and plus life in general. So it's been a very full and cumbersome time, but I enjoy the work. I enjoy the people I get to meet with doing this. Spending time underwater, seeing the fish, seeing, the creator's creation, if you will, and seeing that through other people's eyes for the first time. That's what keeps me moving on for that. Here to find out, I took the time off of work. I took a week off, um, and back to the basics, I should say, is the trip fell in my lap. I'm like, okay, everybody that I dive with, a lot of my dive buddies have been planning on going on this trip. So I decided to like, hey, I can use this. It's the first trip out, first dive trip with the shop, first a bunch of things, honestly. And I was honestly looking forward to it. Sitting by the ocean is one of the most awesome things to do. And it's been wonderfully amazing to sit by the ocean. I love the beach. I love the hot weather. Hearing the oceans is so calming and so soothing that I've honestly was waiting for it. The airlines, the airfare was, very reasonable. I actually got three different um, refunds on it because the price kept plummeting. It kept going down and down and down. And I was fortunate enough to get that because I would check. It's like, okay, is there a price difference? If not, that was Delta's policy. If there's a price difference, you would get any credit for it. And if it was within the first 24 hours, you would actually get your money back. Beautiful. Couldn't put that down. That fell into place. I had all my dive gear fall into place. I had the trip fall into place. I had extra money from my investments returning, dividends to me so I can pay the trip off. So that worked out wonderfully. Everything was paid off. Did the trip, did the planning meeting, attended that. I was there, all excited, all excited. Here to find out the night before I was out, um, someone special of mine, uh, did some work. I was putting on finishing touches. I had went through all my checklists. I made sure everything. I had my visitor's tax. I had my marine life park entrance. I had my bags packed. I did my double check on my dive equipment, make sure everything was in the car. Perfect. It was about 11 o'clock at night, normal sleeping time. Beautiful. I just need it like 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep to get up to drive an hour to the airport. Something I set 4 alarms for this, and something happened that no does not happen to me. Anybody that knows me in life or anything is I don't sleep through alarms ever. Especially on a trip like this before going, I'm a very late sleeper when it comes to this. But I slept through 4 alarms. I got up, rushed down to the airport. I actually got through security. There was a hiccup in security, of course, as always, which we'll get into some basic things about that. And I actually got to the gate where I watched the woman shut the door and missed my flight. And you're probably asking what the relevance of all this story is. It's a big premise of what is the show is all about. And absolutely nothing they can do about it. They did their safety checks. They paged me like 10, 15 minutes. I had issues. Apparently in my luggage, I had a dive tool, which is a multi-function tool with wrenches, screwdrivers, uh, basic dive, what you would need to repair dive gear in a GF and very crude tools. I had to actually look at open my bag up, search through it, and that is the ultimate straw that broke the camel's back, literally. And that's what kept me from getting to there in time. And, honestly, not taking a vacation in over 2 years, it has definitely played a big part of my mental state. The body readiness, and I'm gonna definitely get into that. So the woman at Delta tried to give me a flight, and the next flight was on Tuesday with another airline, but that airline rejected the request to put me on the flight. And ultimately, the next flight down to Bonaire was Thursday, and I was supposed to fly back Saturday. So honestly, I missed my vacation. And I'm gonna go through a bunch of things, what caused this and how not to have this happen to you, and why it is so important that we take time for ourselves. And so we regenerate, we renew ourselves, we make better decisions, we make decisions that we can actually, have great outcomes with. Life throws us a lot of curveballs, and that was one curveball I was not anticipating because I have never slept through that many alarms, and when I flew all the time, I never missed a flight because of oversleeping. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. So knowing that was the ultimate wake-up call for me to slow down. I've slowed down before quite a bit, but nothing to this effect because even though I have trip insurance, I don't know if they're going to cover it. I filed a claim with Dan, Diver Alert Network, which was my trip insurance was through, and I'm waiting to hear back from them to see if they will honor my claim, and because of being held up in security. Honestly, that was the ultimate one of the last and ultimate reason of being missing the flight was security. I have contacted the dive shop, tried to see if there's anything they could do. They've tried multiple times. I'm not gonna lie, they've reached out to their travel agent. They tried rebooking next week. I tried seeing if I can get a travel credit for, a later flight or a later um date, and apparently I cannot. So I that is a very expensive lesson to learn because it wasn't an all-inclusive one, but it included all my diving, lunches, some breakfasts, and all that stuff. But all to say that we don't take enough time for ourselves. We're constantly doing things for others. We're constantly doing work. We're constantly trying to better ourselves for the most part, which is phenomenal that we're doing that. But we're not taking the time to rejuvenate ourselves. And I was just looking at statistics before, and apparently to labor and industry across the US, we in the United States in general have not taken enough vacation time, and it's due to a variety of things. The uncertainty of the state of affairs, politically, everything else, rising, the inflation that apparently does actually exist, but doesn't exist. If you remember that show, if not, go back and take a look at that one. That was with Joe. I can't remember his last job, Mr. Parker. And since 2019 to 2022, from 29% of people using their PTO days, it is now up to 55% of people not using their PTO days. That means over half of us, working class folks, are not taking vacation. And that is one of the perks of the job that your employer offers is not even taking a day off just to relax, not even taking a mental health day, if you will, taking a 3-day weekend, or it doesn't have to be a whole week of vacation. It could be a 3-day weekend, it could be a day in the middle of the week, whatever. But we are not taking it. And that is causing a lot of stress on us, a lot of poor choices after a while. After looking at what happened to me this past weekend, That was a very poor choice on me of not going to bed earlier, not setting a fifth alarm clock, or having someone to actually call me, which people felt guilty about. I should have did this, I should have did that. There's nothing we can do about it now. It's I just use that as learning experience, and I wasn't supposed to actually be there. For some reason that is unbeknownst to me, I don't think I was supposed to be there. Others beg to differ on that, which is fine. They're allowed to have their opinion. But for me to sleep through four alarms that I know wake me up consistently on a daily basis, it's just a different time change. That's not normal and by any means. Do I regret not going? Absolutely. Do I miss the was that a missed opportunity? Yes. Did I learn something from it? Absolutely, I've done. I learned I need to take more time for everything, more time to renew, more time off, more time in between classes that I'm helping out with, more time to take off from work, not to bring my work home anymore from my 9 to 5. Also to not work as much on the publishing company. I do need to still keep on with my writers and uh, book artists, everything. It's, it's just I need to find a better way to do things. So I'm actually thinking about revamping things. I'm taking the time today. I'm actually going to go back to work tomorrow, uh, back to the 9 to 5 because my vacation's unpaid because I'm a contractor. I make more money. And hold on one second, folks. And to further that, I honestly don't remember what I was talking about. Honestly. Yeah, I had a phone call from one of the other dive people that were going on the trip with us that I was supposed to be on. And here to find out that Delta is, making good for their screw up of their broken down plane. But it's hard to say where things actually are in this time in life. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna gather my thoughts and I'm gonna come back with a second half on how not to go through what I went through and hopefully have a better vacation and realize why we actually still need these things in our life. If you're just tuning in, stay tight. I'm going to be right back. For those listening, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. I'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Making More Money for You show. I'm your host, Magnus Carter. And for those tuning in, thank you for tuning in. For those who are with me from the first part, thank you for coming back. This show is all about the importance of a vacation. First part of the show, I just had a horrific experience in travel due to myself not being prepared, also not taking care of myself. And I'm going to own that, but I'm also going to say that I wasn't supposed to be there as well. You can take that as you will. I would love to hear your comments about this. You can hit me up at Magnus Carter 10 on Instagram, on TikTok. You can hit me up on Facebook. You know, I'm on all the socials, and I would love to get your thoughts on this thing, or hit me up on LinkedIn as well. So, to come back to my thoughts on what we're actually doing is we don't take enough time for ourselves. Like I said before, in the first half of the show, we are constantly on the go. We have technology on our hands. We do not slow down. We do not stop and smell the roses. We don't look at the sky. We don't do a lot of these things that we used to do prior to this technological age. Instead, we have our heads buried in a phone, recording stuff, posting things, making ourselves look cool on social media. I'm at fault for that. I do it for advertising and keeping in contact with you guys. And honestly, I really don't like it. it's a time consumption, a huge time consumption thing that goes on, taken away from other things that I could be doing or enjoying. But I do understand I need to reach my listeners, my followers, keep them updated, keep them engaged. I understand that aspect of it. But there's tons of other ways to do that. You can email me, you can do, a phone call, you can write a review on Amazon about the books, the Making More Money for You books or anything from LPS Publishing House LLC. There's also, like I said before, I'm going to be at a live event. I'm actually going to be at the Four State Comic Con coming up in Harrisburg on the 24th and 25th. But there's so much more than outside this stupid little rectangular thing that we have in our hands or in our pockets and that we're drawn to by the blue lights that's changing our mental waves and the way we think and the way we act and the way we treat each other. You know, before these times there were still bullies. Now in these times there's cyber bullies and then there's cyber warriors and bully warriors and all this other stuff. But when we unplug and actually go on vacation, we do still take the memories. We still live an experience. And as I was talking to my friend Jorge, that also went through a big mishap with his flight down to Bonaire, is it wasn't about the money for us. Honest, honest to Pete, honest to whoever you believe in, it was not never about the money. We were we were paying for an experience. We paid for the flight to get to our destination. We paid for the hotel, the Divi. We were actually staying at the Divi Flamingo Hotel and Casino down on Bonaire. Supposedly, it's one of the top ranking places to go and to dive, and dive shop was supposed to be top notch down there. That's what I was looking forward to. I was also looking forward to all the people that we go diving with. We dive locally together. It is a giant community. I was looking to do that in a foreign country with them, experience those types of experiences with them. See what they see, let them show me what they see, so I can, you know, experience experience it through what they experience. But honestly, it would have been my own. And, you know, I'm fascinated by how the underwater kingdom works. You know, you're just floating around, you're weightless, everything has its place in its cycle. It has everything just goes upon everything. It is so beautifully balanced and harmonized. It's something to actually something that you just have to be part of to actually witness it. It's hard to describe. I can describe it till I'm blue in the face today or wherever you want to talk about. I have tons of diving stories to talk about. Uh, Hit me up on them. I would be glad to put those out there as well as also the investing because not only, I invested my money in myself. I paid the money to invest in the training, so I'm safe and I know what to do. I paid I invested the money in equipment that is life sustaining and that will serve me for many, many years. I've also invested in time with other people that I learn with, through I thrive with, who actually want me to be a better person. To to have this and that kind of honest to goodness connection with something that we that is all that can be you can be immersed in is something that you just have to experience. And instead of that, we're constantly we are over our heads in work. We bring work home with us. We're constantly on our phones doing work. We're constantly, um, the time flies by so fast. Before we know it's another year go by. And as I was saying, 55% of us don't use vacation times anymore. So the 45% that are taking the vacations are having better work, better lifestyle. 9 times out of 10, it's better lifestyle. We'll just do 9 out of 10 out of this. Experiences that they love to share with the people they love or people they care about. It's just something that we're so limited on the time on this planet here. In a blink of an eye, 20 years went by from high school till now. In a blink of an eye, you've seen the whole political stage change. The Scorpions did write a song called The Wind of Change. And I remember as that song debuted, that change of the Berlin Wall coming down over decades of segregation and whatnot through that time till and then remembering that as and every time I hear that song I can actually see the music video on MTV. Yes, MTV played music, folks. They did. I swear I was there. I seen it. We weren't allowed to watch it at that time. Now that I can watch it, I want nothing to do with it because it's all garbage now. And that little tirade is over. But being mindful in the state that we're in right now helps us make a better choice for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised to us. The next day is not promised to us either. But everything right now that we're doing, has an effect from what happened prior and what's going to happen later. But we're too busy focusing on that things, right? Those things instead of living now in the moment. And that's mainly the reason for this show is I wasn't living in the moment. I was worried about everything under the sun. If I was going to miss my flight, that I was going to something bad was going to happen. I was worried about my writers actually being, well taken care of for the week because I wasn't going to be around. To work, it's like, oh, what's work going to do without me? Work doesn't care if you're not there. They'll just pile your work on somebody else's work. Bottom line, that's how it goes. That's how it's always been. That's how it's always going to be. And that's on them and not for you to decide. Your manager or supervisor. If you're a manager or supervisor, well, you know what? That's why you have underlings. You have assistant managers, you have higher ups. You're still supposed to be off the clock. Our bodies are not function or built to be under stress 100% of the time. I am honestly proof that that stress will break you at some point. And something that you are extremely, extremely looking forward to is going to suffer from it. Mine was I overslept because I missed my flight. I missed a completely awesome trip. But then again, I don't know if it's an awesome trip because I'm not there. So I don't want to be bitchy about this. I'm not preaching to this. I don't want to stand on my soapbox way too long, is because this show is all about giving you the facts and you making choices on what you want to do with your life. I'm just here as a guide to say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. These are some options out there. This is what's going on in the world. You take the information, just like the books that I wrote, the Making More Money for You books, and you apply it to your finances. Instead, this is all about life. And it does impact your finances because when we're stressed and we're using feelings and emotions and things that cloud our judgment to make decisions about funding and money, it can be very catastrophic if it's done poorly, or if it's done in the wrong way, or if it's done out of haste. That's one thing that I've noticed with a lot of the job recruiters out there because they can't find people to work because one, companies don't want to pay. Two, it's uncertain on how long you're going to keep your position, even your position you're in right now. I've been seeing that there've been a lot of companies are doing whatever they can to cut their bottom line and make sure that they are still making the higher ups are still making the money while doing more work with less people. See, I hate that Sigma 6 bullshit, Sigma belt bullshit, because that's all it teaches. It teaches you how to be lean, how to actually do more with less, and make sure that your workers are performing 130% of the 100% that they're capable of. I hate that shit. I went through most of the classes. I was up to a brown belt in the Sigma 6 garbage. And all it does is teach you how to manipulate people on how to do more and with less people. I can't stand it. Honestly, if anybody out there thinks I'm wrong, write a comment on it. I would love to discuss that with you and also possibly have you on the show to talk about that. The next thing is our bodies. As I said, our bodies aren't supposed to be under that stress. It breaks down. We get illnesses. We get sick. I remember this past year, I worked my body that hard that I got sick for 2 weeks because my body just shut down. It wasn't getting the proper nutrients. It wasn't getting the proper rest. My mental focus was all fogged up. I couldn't help anybody, not even myself. And I ended up being on a couch for a week and a half, being sick that shouldn't have had me sick at all. Honestly, with my immune system being so deprived of everything. Apparently, another person at work had the same exact thing, and we've been working nonstop continuously. So there's some facts in there. Which another good thought about that is our relationship or partnerships that we're with tend to grow stronger when we're not working all the time because we bring our stress and our frustrations that are work and we unload it on the other person. Sometimes we do it knowingly, sometimes it's just, you know, it is just a reflex and it just happens. And then you're carrying those burdens around with you on top of the other stuff that's going on in your life. And then it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And we're not meant to carry that loads like that. We're made to, help others, provide for whoever we're supposed to be providing for, live life. That is why there are so many other things out there. I have a book of 100 dive spots a diver should do before hanging up their gear. Bonnier was one of them. Aruba's another one. Uh, Dutch Springs in Pennsylvania. I've dove there. It's not really Dutch Springs anymore, but Lake Hydra. So that one I can actually cross off my list. Jamaica was in there. I did that. You know, this new passion that I found and purpose of helping others to get to see the things that I see and experience those things on vacations or with their family or with other ones. You know, my circle of people that I hang around with think it's an ultimate badass thing that to actually go underwater to take on that and go 100 feet down plus if up to 100 or over 100 feet and see that shit. I love it because I don't do it because they think it's that way. I do it because it is relaxing. I am at peace when I see that. I am at peace when I see fish and marine life. See the wrecks of yesteryear to experience something that very few people actually take the courage to do. Plus, you have tons of cool stories to tell people and experiences. It's like, oh, well, when I went to go to this dive site, this happened, and we've seen that, and we've done a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's just it makes it entertaining. And get that accomplishment. It's like I did that. I can do that. I have the knowledge and skill set to do those things. We can actually take that learning perspective and those great emotions and the feelings and the life stories, we can apply that anywhere in our life, whether it's working, whether it's communicating with others, travel, eating food. I'm a giant food eater. I was looking forward to the food of Bon Air uh, to find out what it is they do from being a Netherlands province and all that stuff or territory. I was looking forward to experiencing that culture. It was all about the experience for me with that, like I say. And the importance of that is I've been inclusive or reclusive so long in an area that all they do is they just eat the same stuff every day. They do or the same area every so often. They go here, they go there, they have their favorite stuff. But to expand out and experience what other people eat, the joys of food, the joys of actually seeing someone else's culture and finding out, you know, we're all different, but we're all similar at the same time, and we're created to share those experiences. That's one of the greatest things to do is experience that. And to do such things as that is one of the best things to to be part of. So the top things to take out of this show is use your vacation time. Honestly, you don't know when it's there to use. It's not there to bank. And I understand emergencies come up, but take some time for yourself. Take some time for your family. Get away from the work. Get away from the everyday life. Experience something. Have stories to tell and share. Your emotional state will clear up. The fog will leave when you're experiencing something completely different. Feel the joy of actually talking to someone else, seeing what they see, what they're accustomed to. Being part of something bigger. We're all part of something. We're all part of each other's life, whether we like it or not. But to experience that, take time away from work. You see, they'll be there the other 630 some odd days of the year. You can see them. Go meet someone new. Try something new. Try a different food. Make sure you're not allergic to it before you try it. Don't want anybody going to the hospital over things. But try something new. Enjoy the best things in life. We have too much of the worst things in life being shoved down our throats through the media, through the election that's coming up, through the people that are running the election, to the behind the scenes people. You know, all they're trying to do is cause us fear. Probably the next outbreak of something before the election's going to happen, and we're going to get locked up anyway. So get out there, say, fuck you. I'm going to do something. This is the most I've ever cursed on a show. I'm okay with that because we're all adults here or trying to be adults or want to be adults or looking to be adults. It's life. Life is life. Opus sang that song "Live is Life." I recommend you go listen to it because it is. You get the best out of everything when you go see something live. You get the best out of anybody when you see somebody live, like a show or a concert. Uh, diving experiences I can definitely relate to. They're there, even a cruise. Cruise ships are one of the best things to do if you don't know what to do on a vacation. If you are hungry and you don't want to do too much and you just want to lay around, do some activities here, do an activity there, they are honestly the best things, one of the best things to do ever. Everything's all self-contained. You have a room, you have bed, you have a shower, you have a pool, you have unlimited types of food and drinks if you take the package. You can do excursions. You meet all sorts of different people. You have other experiences. You know, that will bring the spark of life back into you. I am still going to work my ass off to figure out what it is going to be next and what the next trip will be. This trip was actually supposed to be broadcasted on the beach of Bon Air, but instead it is still in my home office. So that just means that there's something better out there that I'm supposed to experience before going there. That is how I'm looking at it. That's how I choose to look at it. We have the choice to decide how these events play out after the fact. We have the choice to decide, okay, this was bad. What good came out of it? Or what bad? Or if you want to focus on the bad things and be negative all the time, fine, do that. Don't do it around me. Honestly, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of all that garbage. if you want to be positive and say, okay, this is what I learned out of this, this is what I want to do, this is how things are going to happen. Awesome. I would love to hear about those in the comments. Hit the This will be on YouTube. The video is going to be on YouTube. I'm looking all over the place, so it's going to be a freaking manic show. Not gonna lie. So to tell the truth, I'm glad I was able to do this show. I'm thankful to do this show. I'm thankful for today. I am thankful that I had the balls to sit down and actually tell you what happened to me and take ownership of it, because ultimately the choices that I made throughout up to now got there, got here. And I'm okay with that. I accepted that. I have forgiven myself for that. I've forgiven myself about the lost experience of that, lost opportunity. But to hear someone else's, I'm looking forward to hearing how their trip went. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be distant at times with it, but I will get over that and I will accept it because one, I'm human. Two, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn from this. I choose to learn from this. I choose to see the best out of this thing here. So, and I need to go back down to that dive shop and talk to them about getting some other of my equipment switched back over to my normally daily diving. I am not going to stop diving after this. I am not going to stop looking for the next thing to do, but I am going to take better care of myself after learning this. I am going to start looking at other possibilities and see the signs that if it's right, it's right. Honestly, after seeing a couple of the signs, there were subtle signs during this process that has kind of warned me about not going. I did not pay attention to those signs. People just wrote it off as a simple mistake. I am looking back now at it and looking at it at a clear mind and actually talking to the other person that was supposed to go that did not make it the trip either, is they weren't mistakes. They were supposed to happen that way. And the signs that were given, I was supposed to take care of. So I'm going to be more vigilant with that and take care of more things than I need to take care of. Everybody, my rant, my raise, if whatever you call it, the of a manic person, of a depressed person, of a person that thinks they are just standing on a soapbox is over. I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me today. I am thankful for all my listeners out there, my readers. Keep an eye out for the next book. It's going to be coming very soon of the Making More Money for You books. If you haven't checked out any of my books, please feel free to do so on Amazon, lpspublishinghouse.com, or wherever major books are sold. To take care, enjoy today. I'll be coming back with I have a couple other guests getting lined up for some future shows on investing. Feel free to reach out to me at mcarter at lpspublishing.com. You can hit me up on all the socials, Instagram at Magnus Carter 10, Twitter at Magnus Carter 10, the Facebook group Making More Money for You. And everybody out there, enjoy the rest of the summer. Take a day out, go on a vacation, a day vacation, a weekend vacation, rejuvenate yourself. You owe it to yourself to take some time. You work nonstop, moms, dads, businessmen, countrymen, lend me your ears. Take the time. You get paid for it, take it. Because the experiences will be worth tenfold of what you invested with the money. So, with that said, I'm going to bid you adieu until the next show. Stay safe out there and enjoy life.